Hey, fellow e-commerce scalers. If you're at a point where you're stuck, you cannot scale your brand, your products, maybe you've figured out what your front end offer is, maybe you have some UGC ads or some ads running that are performing decently, let's say, but you cannot really push the budgets, right? Every time you start to increase budgets above a certain point, be it $500 a day or $1,000 a day or maybe like 2,000, 3,000, $5,000 a day, at some point the performance just tanks, right? In a sense of once you cross a certain point, you're just seeing diminishing returns. Your return on ad spend drops. Your cost per acquisition skyrockets. This is a clear sign for, this could be, it could be several reasons, but it's a clear sign that something is wrong in the funnel, right? It might be the ads, but it might not necessarily be the ads, right? And for that case, I'm going to show you now how to use listicles, which is a special type of landing page, to actually make your whole setup scalable and be able to spend, 3 times, 5 times, sometimes 10 times more per day without even changing the ads or your product or anything, right? All right, so let's jump right in. First of all, what is a listicle, right? I'll show you examples. We'll go over what a listicle is, why and when you need it, how to best write it, and I'll walk you through an example as well. So a listicle is a landing page that is the first touch point after an ad and before going to the next page, which most of the time is the product page, right? So it lists bullet points that sell your product better. And the beauty of it is that listicles are, because of their structure, it's something that people really love to consume, right? Because it's very finite, right? Okay, it's 5 reasons why, or it's 7 reasons why. So you're kind of like getting dragged through the listicle and you want to know what is the fourth, fifth reason, right? But at the same time, it's not an article without an end, right? So this is it's a very interesting concept. So mostly it's 5 points, right? So 5 reasons, but it can go up to 11 if it makes sense, right? This is something that you could test also. So here, just to show you the structure, essentially you're running your ads to the listicle, and from the listicle you send people to the product page. This is what we're going to talk about. There are also listicles that have on the listicle already the product to add to cart. I wouldn't recommend it, and I'm going to explain to you why as well. So why and when do you need a listicle? A listicle really enables you to increase two things, right? Number one, the conversion rate, and number two, the scalability, without changing your offer, your product page, or the ad, right? And the beauty of it is that when we're talking about conversion rates, they're going to increase because we have more space to explain how our product actually works, right? How our product provides value, why it's better than other products, and how it solves their pain point or problem, which hooked them in the first place, right? So we can essentially warm up the traffic that we're acquiring. And very important, we can force consumption, right? So I always tell my clients, my consulting clients, and my team that essentially we want them to go through this gate, right? You could think of it as a gate. They have to go through it in order to be able to see the price, right? Or even be able to order. So this ties back into like when you have a conversation in a physical store, you would first of all, talk with the customer about, all the things that matter to him, why the product is so much better, and so on and so forth. And then ultimately, you might talk about the price, right? Same thing with scalability, right? The scalability increases because we can scale our ads to colder audiences while keeping the conversion rate high. And this ties into the first place and into the first point, the conversion rate, because why your ads might work right now on a low scale is because when we're talking about awareness stages, they are tapping into people that are very close to purchasing, right? So they didn't need a lot in order to be convinced to purchase. But the more we scale our budgets, the more we are tapping into audiences that might not be as ready. And this is the reason that's the real reason why your return on ad spend goes down, uh, beyond a certain daily spend. So to counter that, we're forcing people to consume a certain amount of content about our product, where we position our product as the perfect solution to what they try to solve, whatever problem they try to solve. And then, and only then, we give them the opportunity to actually see, how much our product costs, what the product details are, and so on and so forth, right? So it's a forced pre-education, essentially. Now, when you're facing, like, when is it really relevant? I already touched that, but um, when your best working and spending ads are capped at a certain daily spend, we covered that. Every time you increase the budget, the cost per purchase goes through the roof, or your return on ad spend drops. Secondly, you have high price products, right? That need education to be sold properly. So every time you have, a product that is, let's say, costs $200, $300, right? Um, this is something, it's not an impulse purchase in a sense, right? It's not something that people just lightly say, oh, whatever, I'm just going to try out this $300. Of course, there are people like that, but I'm talking about the vast majority, right, of your target audience. So we need to make sure to educate them properly on why our product is actually worth $1,000, if not even more, so that they can relate, to the price in a different way. And when they see the price, they will understand the value, right? So first you want to sell them on the value, and then you want to direct them to the price. Otherwise, you send people to the product page. That's what I see. A lot of times when people have high priced products, they just send them to the product page. But that's where a lot of people go, wow, this is expensive, right? And they don't even consider buying this anymore because it's just, they say it's way too expensive, right? And they start to compare it with, stuff on Amazon, whatever. But the real issue is that they would have spent the money if they would have understood the value, right? So always put the value first and then sell them on the price. All right, so you have products that are not impulse buys, but need more education so people understand the value of your product. So this could be the same. It's not the same as the second point, but this could also be the case if you sell lower priced products. Let's say, for example, also a subscription, right, where it's about, I don't know, supplements, for example, for your gut health. Just to give you an example, you need to sell people on the value of this product, right? And also on the continuous use. If they don't see that value, even if your product costs, I don't know, $30, which is not a lot, respectively, still you need to educate them on buying into your solution mechanism, right? This is very important. All right. Yeah, just for reference, like, this has been one of the main drivers in scaling brands to multiple six figures per month, from below 100K per month within a couple of months, right? So in the portfolio, in our portfolio that we have around like 20 brands now in our portfolio, making between 2.5 and 3 million a month. And yeah, this is actually one of the main drivers that helps brands scale beyond this 100K or 50K per month mark, right? Because at some point when you really want to scale, you're getting to that point. All right, how to best write a listicle. So just to give you some quick ideas, write it for your specific target audience, right? So one of the mistakes that I see being made is that, a lot of times is that the listicle is too vague. It's too general, right? And we don't want to be general. We want to have an ad hooking in a specific target audience, then leading them to a listicle that fits the messaging of the ad, ties into this, then sells them on the solution mechanism on our product, and then sends them pre-educated to the product page, right? This is what we want. So just to give you an example, women over 50 with gray hair, right? They want to get their hair more beautiful, more shiny, whatever, feeling more young again. So this is what you would like. This is who you would target in the ad. Then you would send them to a listicle that is specifically written for this target audience and how to overcome the pain point of having, I don't know, frizzy hair with over 50 or very dry scalp, and then send them pre-educated to a product page, right? So write it specifically for someone. Not Don't do general listicles. Now, the first bullet point should always be meet them where they are, right? So either it's what they want, right? Is their desire, the ultimate desire, or it's the pain point that they're experiencing and that they want to solve. Because then they feel like I'm understood. I'm right here, right? This is very important to communicate, especially when we're talking to colder audiences. They need to feel that rapport that, oh wow, this is written for me, so it's relevant to read the second paragraph, right, or the second bullet point. All right, so we're not selling them anything. First of all, we're not jumping in, hey, this is the best product, this is the best product, we are the best. Well, this is all me. But we need to talk about you, right? So what are their problems? What do they try to solve? And what's the real root cause, actually? So a very simple structure is that you hook them in with the problem, make them feel understood. Then you reveal the real root cause of the problem, right? This could also be in the first paragraph, depending on how you write it. Then you present the solution to the problem, or to the solution to the real root cause. Obviously, you present your product, then you can talk about the ingredients, what makes your product special, and you will add proof that your product actually works, right? And ultimately, you send them to the product page, obviously, or whatever you want to send them to. So I'll show you an example now so that we can just quickly see how this can look, right? So this is one example brand that I picked out first day. They sell kids supplements, and this is a very good example of a listicle. I'm just going to break it down quickly, right? So 5 reasons why 460K parents switch to first day. This is actually this is a slight variation of one of the headlines that is working really, really well, which is 5 reasons why XYZ thousand people in the target audience, in this case it's parents, or it could be like dog owners, for example, whatever you sell, switched to XYZ, right? Or switched from, and then you have like an old solution to old common solution to the new solution, right? Either you name it as what it is, or you just name the brand name, right? But this is very interesting because you're directly calling out the target audience. So this is what comes back to what I said here when I was talking about write it to your specific target audience, right? So that's done really, really well. So this is interesting as well. Just a little teaser, obviously. But what I want to show you is this here, right? Number one, healthier, happier kids, the way it should be. So here you can see they're tapping into this is what they want. Obviously, every parent wants healthier and happier kids, right? Do your kids have trouble sleeping, focusing, or behaving, right? That's now tapping into the problem, right? Those are the kind of problems that they have. They may be suffering from something completely invisible to the human eye. UNICEF calls it hidden hunger. Okay, so now we're tapping into the real root cause, right, of why they have trouble sleeping, focusing, and behaving, right? Because it's less about the quantity of food and more about the quality of your kid's diet. And let's be real, so the kid's diet is the root cause, essentially. As parents, we can't expect to give our kids a reliable source of nutrients through meals every single day. That's why we teamed up with Harvard and Yale experts to make First Day one of the most natural and most absorbent vitamins for kids to actually get benefits. Okay, so now in this first paragraph, I understood that this is what I want, right? I want healthier, happier kids. This is the issues that I have with my kids. And now I understood, okay, the real root cause is actually the diet, right? but I cannot like it's impossible to do like to give them everything they need in every single meal. So that's why they teamed up with experts. You see some studies here to produce those vitamins essentially that help them. Here, this is interesting. In this case, they mix it up a little bit. Here you have the proof already of the product, right, which is a testimonial. Then number two, it's so easy, right? Kids practically beg for it. Here they're talking about the solution essentially, and this is everything that you don't have to do, which is a great angle in that sense, right? Because when we're talking about diet, this is what people think about. They think, oh, well, diet is so complicated and I have to cook vegetables, I have to shop, I have to like give them, I don't know, pounding headache, struggling to force feed your kids with veggies. I have to give them veggies, but they don't like them, right? I tried it already. So all of this stuff comes up. But essentially, they say it's super easy, right? That's not the solution. The solution is just to add this, right? So here it triggers massive curiosity on what it is, right? And now they essentially present what the solution is, right? And what the solution what's part of the solution essentially, right? So here you have all the vitamins listed. Kids deserve better science, not snake oil. This is also a common solution, it seems, that doesn't work. And all the things that are essentially, that could people think of vitamins, right? They think, oh well, there's a lot of sugars in it, fillers, all couple like sorts of ingredients that I don't know what they are, what they do. I don't want that for my kid. It's without all of this, right? So as you can see, like the more you read, the more they strip away the skepticism, and at the same time, the desire builds up for the product, right? The desire for the product, to understand more about the product, and they're essentially envisioning this product more and more and more, so that it actually, until the point that they actually want it, right? So we're building up this desire. Very, very important. This is what the listicle can do, and it's just not happening when you send straight to the product page. Next point, it's not cheap, yet you'll save hundreds of dollars. Very important. I don't think that people would want to have cheap vitamins for their kids, because it's their kids, right? You want to feed them the best possible, yet you have to be able to afford it, right? So they tap into a very common, I think, concern would be, well, this sounds super nice, but most likely it's super expensive. Well, that's true, but you still save a lot of money, right? So they compared against essentially like what you would do, like what would you pay if you would do it by yourself at home and buy the groceries and all of that stuff, right? So compared to that, it's essentially almost the same, but it's way cheaper than that, right? Um, and very important point, which I like to have as the fifth reason, is a lot of social proof, right? You see this, you see a lot of happy parents with their kids, with the product, smiling kids, kids that love it, right? And it's risk free, right? Just to take away the last concerns here. All right, and then you send them to the offer, and when you click here, obviously you get to the product page, right? So this is a very good example. There's another example that we're just going to go over quickly. 5 reasons why Mala is making eco-conscious people throw out their old candles. So eco-conscious people throw out their old candles. You remember what I said in the last listicle. So essentially you're positioning this against a common solution, right? Exactly. Then the style is a little bit different. The design is a little bit different, but you see the structure, right? You recognize the structure. A lot of social proof here, which is great. What I don't really like here is that it's not tapping into a product, right? We're straight away talking about the product features essentially, right? Which can work for a lower bottom, like lower, let's say mid to lower bottom of funnel, um, but it's most likely not going to serve well when you try to reach colder audiences, right? That have a problem, but they don't know that they need this product, right? So this is a great example for that. All right. Um, then what I would recommend is use an app like Replo. This is what I use for all of my projects, all of my clients, consulting clients that I mentor one on one. Yes, I'll put a link here also. And obviously, in my school community, I share our templates, right? So you could literally copy paste the listicle templates that I've validated with, now millions in DTC revenue that went through those listicles. And I can also give you feedback on your copy one-on-one. Yeah, so that you can come up with some killer listicles and see how this impacts your performance. All right, here are some more examples. I hope that was helpful. Yeah, if you want to learn more, go more in depth, get everything that you need essentially to get your e-commerce to 100K, 250K, 500K, whatever you want to do. Yeah, make sure to check out my school community. And yeah, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Looking forward to the next one. Hope that was helpful. Take care. Bye bye.